Hello and welcome to an e-ISuite video tip on downloading and importing an incident from ROS into e-ISuite. The first step is to download a ROS import file from the ROS website. In order to do that, you must either have access to ROS with basic user role, which you get from your local dispatch, or you must have application access to F&AM e-ISUpload, which you ask the help desk to add to your NAP account. To download a ROS import file, you must first open your browser and go to the e-ISuite website. The URL is on the screen, and click on the ROS import link on the left, and then click on OK to go to an external website. At this point, you'll need to enter your NAP credentials that have access to ROS. So go ahead and enter your username and password for your NAP credentials and click on OK. That'll take you to the ROS download site, and you should click on the ROS folder link in the upper left, and then click on the ROS system extracts folder link, where you'll have two options. The first option, e-ISuite import file, is for use by users who are using Internet Explorer as the browser for downloading ROS import files. The second link is for those users who are using Firefox or Chrome to download the ROS import file. We're using Internet Explorer, so we'll click on the first link. You'll be presented with a filter window that is used to search for your incident. You may either enter the full incident name or number, or you may enter part of a name or number followed by a wildcard character, either a $sign or an asterisk. In our case, we're going to search for an incident named Creek, and we're going to just enter the first three letters of Creek and enter a $sign, and after that, click on the filter button in the upper right, and it will search for all incidents begin with CRE. Now you have to know your full incident number so you can select the proper incident. So you click on the incident that you want to download the file for. It'll highlight, and then you click on the download file button. You'll get a little message that your report is running, please wait, and in just a moment it should finish gathering the information for the file. And the default file name will be your incident number followed by .xml. You want to save that file just like it is in the dialog window and ignore the save as type thing that says it's going to save it as type *.htm or *.html. Just ignore that and click on save to save it to your preferred download location. It'll take just a moment while it actually saves the file to that location. And when it's done, you'll be returned to the ROS system extracts window, and you're done with downloading the ROS import file, so you can go ahead and log out of ROS at this point and close your browser window. We are now ready to import an incident from ROS into e-ISuite. In order to do that, we have to log on as a data steward and click on the Incidents button. In this demo, I've logged on as user W. Damon, and I've clicked on the Incidents button, and you can see that we have no incidents in this database. It's an empty database ready for its first incident. We're going to click on the ROS import button in order to start the ROS import process. The first thing we have to do is upload a ROS import file into e-ISuite for processing. When you click on the upload file, it'll ask you to go find a ROS import file. And we're going to use the ROS import file that's in the e-ISuite data folder in the training folder. And the ROS import file is named river ROS import file.xml. And this will import an incident named the river incident. In order to upload the file, simply click on the file once to select it and click on open. It will upload the file, and you'll notice it put it in the ROS files grid with the incident number, the incident name, event type, and the ROS creation date and time. In order to start the import, you select the ROS import file that you want to import and click on Start Import. This will bring up the ROS import wizard. Now the system will check to see if there's a matching incident already in e-ISuite. And if you look up here in the upper right of the ROS Import Wizard window, it tells you that the system did not detect an e-ISuite incident match, and the ROS import will be imported as a new incident. Underneath the ROS incident name and incident number on the left, there are 4 steps that you go through in order to complete a ROS import. The first step, exclude resources, is optional. You may exclude some resources or none at all. It just depends on your particular situation. In this case, we're going to exclude the 2 aircraft from the ROS import. So we select the aircraft in the left-hand grid and then click on the shuttle arrow to move them over to the exclude from import window on the right. And that tells the system we do not want those resources included in the import. The next thing we have to do is set the incident jurisdiction. Now the incident jurisdiction is the agency that is primarily responsible for the incident. Since this is a national forest incident, the U.S. Forest Service will have jurisdiction. So we select U.S. Forest Service, and then if you just hit the tab key, it'll take you to the next step, which is resolving any data conflicts. You may not have any, but you may have some. In this case, we have 1, and the conflict is that the resource name exceeds 55 characters. So we have to do something to either resolve this or exclude this resource before we can go on. When we click on the data conflict, it brings up the conflict description, tells you what the problem is, and gives you an opportunity to correct it. In this case, the resource name exceeds 55 characters, and it can't exceed 55 characters, so we need to shorten the name. So we'll take the extra wording off the end of that resource name, and you'll notice now it says the resource character count is 50, and that should be enough to resolve a conflict. So we'll go ahead and click on Resolve Conflict. So it shows that conflict is resolved, and we're now ready to review and complete the ROS import. The wizard will show an import process status, shows the number of resources to import, how many matched resources, which will be 0 because this is a new import, how many resources are being excluded, and there are no uncompleted items. You can, if you wish, take a look at your excluded resources just to double check the resources that you want to exclude, and then go back to the import process status window and click on complete, and the ROS import wizard will then import those resources into your incident in e-ISuite. When it completes, it'll return you to the ROS import window, and you'll notice that the file name that you had uploaded has been removed because it has been successfully processed. At this point, go to your incident. When you first go to the incident, it won't appear in the list until you refresh the grid. So you click on the icon for refresh data grid up here, the icon with the double green arrows, and you'll notice now it shows the river incident is imported into e-ISuite. You can select the river incident by clicking on it once, and then it'll load the default data for that incident, and as soon as it completes loading that default data, you can go to the check-in module or any other module. We'll go to check-in just to see the resources that have been imported, and all the resources will be imported with a status of field, and they're ready to be checked in. And that completes importing an incident from ROS into e-ISuite.